The sky cracked like a wound, and death poured through in a flood of shadow. Hunters fell like ash, their sword spirits devoured.
I can't even summon a shadow spirit. I am just a pack mule. And now they're all dead.
Empty shell. Your blood will feed the rift, and your shadow will never rise.
Then something beneath his skin ignited, hotter than the demon's claw. The demon's own silhouette ripped itself from the floor, shrieking.
I can feel it. The shadows listen to me. They want to obey. Strangle your master.
Umbral thrashed in disbelief as his own darkness coiled tight around his throat. When the light returned, Kale stood alone among the dead. His shadow no longer empty. It writhed with hunger. 2 crimson eyes opened at his feet, and for the first time, the hollow blood felt whole. But before the blood and shadow, there was a boy whose own silhouette betrayed him. At the bonding ceremony, other children's shadows danced into gleaming sword spirits. Their futures bright. Kale's cast nothing but a flat gray stain, cold and unmoving.
Why won't mine move? What's wrong with me? A hollow blood. You are worthless, even as a pack mule.
The guild has no use for a hunter with no spirit. Carry the gear, hollow blood, and be grateful we tolerate you. Speak out of turn, and I'll have you sweeping stables.
So Kale hauled supplies while others swung blessed steel.
Every step with this load is a reminder that I am less than them, less than human.
His resentment festered like a wound that would not close, a quiet poison that ate at his pride.
Look at the empty shadow. Even the demons wouldn't want a hollow blood. You are just a breathing corpse.
And so the boy without a shadow spirit became known by a single title, Hollow Blood. It followed him like a curse. The alarm shattered the morning's cruel routine. A demon breach had ripped open the sky to the east.
Kale, haul the extra blessed blades to the forward line. Every real hunter needs a weapon. You need a purpose.
More weight. Another reminder that without a spirit, I am just a beast of burden. Try not to trip over your shadow. Hollow blood. Oh wait, you don't have one.
The rift vomited shadow and fire. Hunters charged with shining spirits until a greater darkness unfurled, swallowing their light. Umbral's claw swept through the front line. Sword spirits shattered like glass, their essence devoured by the fiend's gaping shadow maw.
My lion. It ate my lion.
Kale dropped his burden and lunged with a desperate fist. Umbral's backhand swatted him like an insect into the rubble.
Get up. Don't die on your knees. Not like this. Not a useless hollow blood.
Umbral's claw punched through his chest, pinning him to the cracked earth. Blood pooled into his empty shadow, and then something stirred. Kale's blood, spilling into the emptiness of his shadow, did not vanish. It kindled, and the hollow darkness drank greedily.
This power, it's been inside me all along, waiting for death to wake it.
In a detonation of darkness, Kale's shadow erupted. Not a spirit, but a living weapon of pure, hungry night. Umbral's own silhouette, wrenched free of the ground, shrieking as it turned against its master.
I feel its leash in my mind. The demon's shadow obeys me. End yourself with the darkness you serve.
The shadow hands obeyed, crushing the greater fiend's throat until its roar died and its body fell as ash. Kale fell with it. The power flooded his veins like shattered glass, and for a moment, he was nothing but pain. When his vision cleared, his shadow crouched beside him, a creature of raw instinct, crimson eyes watching, a possessive growl rumbling in his mind.
I don't fight shadows. I command them.
He dragged the greater fiend's head through the guild gates, a trophy of impossible survival. But the shadow at his heels writhed like a caged beast, and every hunter recoiled.
What are you? Your shadow. It's a demon's spawn. You weren't just hollow. You were a vessel for this abomination.
The hollow blood returns not as a man, but as a living heresy. By the guild's sacred law, you will be purged. Seize him.
Kale opened his mouth to explain, but his shadow snarled at the approaching guards, and every word he might have spoken died in his throat. Chains clamped around his wrists. His shadow lunged, but Kale forced it back with a white-knuckled fist, unwilling to give them the monster they expected.
If I fight, I prove them right. But if I submit, I die a heretic in a lightless cell.
Ilara watched from the edge of the hall, her fox spirit pressed low with ears flat. She alone did not jeer.
Take him to the deepest cell. Let the darkness there feast on what remains of his corrupted soul.
The iron door slammed shut, plunging him into absolute black. Only 2 crimson eyes moved in the void, tendrils testing the bars with hungry patience.
They'll kill me for this power, but first, I need to understand what I've become.
The shadow's tendrils curled around the iron bars, bending the metal with a grinding groan. Kale slipped free into the dark corridor. He crept past sleeping guards, shadows parting like a loyal servant, and launched himself through a window into the night. By dawn, he had vanished into the Emberwood, his shadow slithering underfoot like a second skin. At a stream, a deer drank. He willed its shadow to bind its legs. It crashed down. His shadow lunged for the kill. He yanked it back, his mind a lash of fire.
Obey me, not the hunger.
For days he trained, hunting, shielding, striking. The shadow tested him, but he did not break. Commander Wren gave the order to Ilara. Find the hollow blood. Purge the corruption. Ilara slipped into the Emberwood, her fox spirit guiding her. Somewhere in the darkness, Kale's campfire flickered.
They made me hollow. I will become their reckoning.
A wounded scout staggered into the Emberwood, babbling of the capital aflame, rifts tearing wider, and a tide of lesser fiends. Kale climbed the highest ridge and saw the capital wreathed in a crown of smoke and demon fire.
We cannot hold the walls. Our blessed swords shatter against this unholy tide. It's him, the hollow blood, called these demons with his corruption. Execute him now.
Commander Wren's fist settled on the table. His eyes, cold as steel, conceded to the panic. A kill-on-sight order, sealed with the guild's crest, was nailed to every remaining post. From his distant perch, Kale watched the hunters flounder. A city he once served, now a funeral pyre.
If I go, they'll kill me before the demons do. But if I hide, who am I protecting?
His shadow lapped at the cliff edge, tasting the smoke, impatient as a caged beast.
The hollow blood was never empty, but reckoning must come at its own time.
The fox spirit led Ilara straight to the clearing. Kale stood waiting, his shadow a pool of restless ink.
By the guild's order, hollow blood, you are to be purged. Surrender, and it will be quick.
You were there. You saw me kill the greater fiend. I am not a demon. I am a hunter who survived.
Ilara's fox spirit lunged, fangs aimed at Kale's throat. But the darkness was faster. It seized her own silhouette, wrenching her arms wide, turning her weapons on herself.
I could let your shadow crush your windpipe. I won't.
Her daggers clattered to the ground as her own shadow pinned her, a puppet on dark strings.
Go back. Tell Commander Wren that the vessel of darkness chose mercy. Do not follow.
He spared me. He's not the monster they believe.
Kale melted into the forest, leaving her trembling, the fox spirit whimpering at her feet. Near the smoldering village of Ashford, Kale walked openly. It was a gauntlet, Darian's enforcers hid in every shadowed alley.
You are surrounded. Heretic. This time, we're not taking you alive.
They charged. Kale didn't move. Every hunter's shadow froze solid at his feet, as if chained to the earth. Then their own silhouettes coiled up their legs, wrapping throats, squeezing just enough to steal breath but not life.
I could choke the breath from all of you without lifting a finger. Remember that.
He loosened the shadows. The hunters collapsed, gasping. Among the rubble, villagers watched with wide, terrified eyes.
Tell the guild I am not the one burning cities. Their true enemy is clawing at the gates.
Kale walked through them like a ghost. Darian, shamed and seething, could only watch. Word spread faster than fire. The hollow blood could turn any shadow into a weapon, and he'd left a whole squad alive to tell. Riders carried the panic straight to the capital's crumbling gates. The guild's dread was about to boil over. In a smoke-choked tower, above the crumbling outer walls, Commander Wren's war council gathered. Despair hung thick as the ash.
Kale is the true enemy, not these mindless demons. Every blessed blade we lose to the Horde is his victory.
Reports of the Ashford humiliation arrived. Darian's pride still bled and his voice cracked with rage.
I'll gut him myself. His shadow won't save him from blessed steel through the heart.
Issue the kill on-sight order. Any hunter, any means. The hollow blood is a plague that must be excised.
The proclamation was nailed to every remaining post. Kale's likeness, a bounty, and a single word: purge.
This isn't justice. It's fear dressing itself in armor.
I'll not rest until his shadow is scattered, and his blood feeds the dirt.
The council dispersed, leaving a city to burn and a manhunt that made the demon siege a secondary concern. Outside, the screams of the dying mixed with the howls of demons. The guild had chosen their monster. The hunt was on. From the ridge, Kale watched civilians claw at sealed gates while demons swept screams into the fire.
They will die because I am hiding, because I am afraid of their judgment.
The choice came not as heroism, but as a cold surrender. He would not let the guild's hatred decide who he was. He slid down the scree, entering the city through a shattered breach. The stench of burning flesh hit like a fist. His shadow spread into a cloak, veiling him from lesser demons that prowled the rubble.
These creatures don't see me. They see my shadow as one of their own. I am walking through the maw.
Ahead, a demon lieutenant directed the slaughter, its lash of black flame driving fiends forward with a shriek. Kale's fingers curled. The creature's shadow stretched across the cobbles, a dark invitation.
One gesture, and I can turn its own darkness into a noose. But the hunters are near.
He stepped from the darkness, the crimson in his eyes matching the fires, and the lieutenant's shadow began to writhe. The lieutenant raised its axe, but its shadow rooted it to the cobbles like chains of iron.
Your darkness belongs to me now.
The demon's silhouette twisted, locking its limbs behind its back in a parody of submission. Then Kale's own shadow surged, a blade of deepest night, cleaving the fiend from skull to spine. It crumbled into ash before the roar could leave its throat, scattering on the wind. From the rubble, a squad of hunters stared, their weapons forgotten at their sides.
He killed it without a sword, without a spirit, just darkness.
Kale stood over the smoldering remains, his shadow pooling like a loyal predator.
It's dead. The real enemy is still at the gates. Save your people.
Darian's jaw tightened, hatred rekindling behind his eyes. The hollow blood had just shamed them all.
He's a traitor. Kill him.
The hunters lunged, but Kale's eyes blazed crimson. Every shadow in the street seized its owner like a snare. Silhouettes coiled around throats, prying weapons from trembling fingers. They hung in the air, puppet-like.
I did not come for you. The demons are your enemy. I am not.
Darian ripped free with a roar, his lion spirit surging forth in a desperate lunge. Kale's shadow rose like a wall of night, swallowing the lion's light and shattering the blade. Darian crumbled, gasping as his own shadow pinned his limbs. The other hunters dared not move.
I could kill you. I choose not to. Remember who your real enemy is.
He released them. The shadows slithered back, and the hunters collapsed, clutching their throats. Darian seethed from the ground, but no one moved to attack. The hollow blood had unmade them without a single death. Commander Ren rode through the smoke with a full company, his gaze falling on the broken hunters at Kale's feet.
You defy my order and corrupt my hunters. Kill him.
Darian rose, shame igniting his eyes. He whispered a forbidden art, and his sword spirit blazed with a lion's dying fury.
Feel my spirit's last hunt.
They collided, shadow against light, a tempest of claws and teeth. Kale's shadow buckled under the onslaught. Darian's blade carved arcs of fire, each swing faster than the last, driving Kale onto the defensive.
This is not the Darian I knew. He's burning his own spirit to kill me.
Kale's shadow formed a shield, but the lion's light scorched through, grazing his arm. Commander Ren watched, unblinking, as if witnessing a necessary sacrifice.
I could end this by taking his shadow completely, but I would become the monster they believe.
Kale's shadow swallowed the flaming lion whole, crushing the spirit into shards of light. Darian crumbled, his sword a broken hilt, his pride a ghost. Tendrils pinned him to the ground. Kale's shadow loomed, a beast held only by his will.
I could kill you. I choose not to.
He released the shadows, and Darien lay gasping, too shattered to rise. Some hunters lowered their blades. Whispers of doubt crept through the ranks. Commander Ren's jaw tightened, but he did not give the command. Not yet.
The demons are still out there. Fight them, not me.
Kale turned his back, a gesture of trust none expected, and walked toward the roar of fiends. For the first time, the hunters did not follow. The hollow blood was no longer prey. The main gate shattered in a deafening roar, and the demon tide poured through like black water. Hunters fell before they could scream. Ren's company crumbled. The guild's blessed swords could not stop the relentless flood. Limbs and spirits were torn asunder. Kale watched the slaughter from the burning street, his shadow pulsing with each fallen life.
I swore not to kill them, but if I do nothing, they'll die anyway.
He stretched his arms wide, and his shadow unspooled like a living net across the cobblestones. From every fallen hunter and demon, a dark silhouette rose. Puppet limbs dragged themselves upright, eyes hollow with obedience. The shadow army crashed into the demon horde with a silent, terrible fury. Darkness tore into darkness. Kale stood in the heart of the chaos, his crimson eyes scorching the night, his will the only barrier between annihilation and survival.
They made me hollow. Now I am full with the dead.
Behind him, the surviving hunters stared, trapped between terror and desperate hope as the dead fought for their salvation. The rift tore wider, and a general of the abyss rose, a mountain of shadow and magma wreathed in black flame.
It's shattering my puppets. I can't hold them.
A tidal wave of darkness lunged. Kale's shadow met it in a shrieking collision. He was driven to his knees, his shadow fracturing, a single mind against a legion. Kale screamed and pulled, drawing the general's shadow into his own, a forbidden absorption. Agony seared through him as the two shadows merged, his body convulsing, eyes bleeding crimson light. He rose. His shadow was no longer his own. It was a titan of darkness, horned and winged, snarling at the world. The demon general crumbled, its essence devoured, leaving only a crater and a figure bathed in night. Kale stood, power absolute, his humanity a flicker behind crimson eyes.
I am no longer hollow. I am the vessel of darkness they swore to kill.
The rift sealed with a silent breath, and the remaining demons fled into the shadows from whence they came. Survivors emerged from the rubble, their eyes fixed on the Titan of darkness standing guard over them. A hunter's voice cut the silence. The hollow blood, he was the vessel. The words spread like contagion, repeating in dozens of hushed voices until they became a chant of disbelief. Commander Ren stared, his rigid fury crumbling into stunned silence.
He spared me. He saved us all. The hollow blood was never empty.
Kale stood motionless, his colossal shadow draped across the shattered city. He looked at his shadow, then at the hunters, expression unreadable. For a long moment, no one moved. The hunters who hunted him clutched blades in confusion. Then another whisper. He saved us. A sword clattered to the cobblestones. Commander Ren stepped forward, his voice carrying the weight of broken authority.
Kale, you have proven yourself. The guild will welcome you back, even a position of leadership.
The crowd murmured, a mix of relief and lingering fear rippling through the battered ranks.
You branded me a heretic when I was weak. Now you want me?
He turned his back, the gesture heavier than any blow he had struck that night.
I am not yours to command. I was never empty.
Ren's hand trembled, the proclamation of heresy still clutched in his fist. Kale's shadow fell into step behind him, a loyal beast that needed no master's leash. The commander stood frozen, his authority shattered like the sword spirits of the fallen. Kale disappeared into the smoke, the vessel of darkness now a legend born from betrayal. Kale walked the ruined streets, his shadow a silent storm that scattered the ash.
KL, wait.
He did not stop. The shadow walked on, inexorable. Darien watched from the rubble, his shattered pride a mirror of the city's ruins, unable to look away. Citizens parted. Some bowed, some cowered. Their whispers echoed the same truth. The vessel of darkness had risen. At the city's edge, the last gate lay in rubble. He paused, and his shadow rose like a living tide, swallowing the broken arch. It coiled around him like a funeral shroud, and he stepped into the waiting abyss beyond the wall. The crimson glow of his eyes was the last thing to fade, before the night claimed him entirely.
I carry the darkness. It will never be a cage again.
And the hollow blood walked into legend, his shadow the only companion he would ever need. Far from the smoking ruins, in a forest clearing under a blanket of stars, Kale sat alone beside a crackling fire. Across the flames, his shadow lay pooled like ink, but its shape held the form of a great beast, two crimson eyes watching the dance of light.
You've been quiet tonight.
A low, rumbling purr vibrated through the ground, the shadow's only reply.
No longer hollow. Not ever again.
He tilted his head back, looking up at the constellations that had once guided his weary feet during long supply runs. The shadow rose, mimicking his posture, a demonic silhouette standing guard against the quiet night.
I'd forgotten what peace felt like.
A gentle breeze stirred the embers, sending sparks spiraling upward to join the stars. For the first time, Kale did not fear the dark. He had become it, and it was home. Dawn crept across the clearing, painting the mist in pale gold. Kale rose, his limbs loose with a quiet strength that asked no permission. Behind him, the shadow unfurled, a towering form of horn and wing, born from the bloodline he once feared. It loomed, not as a monster, but as a guardian, a silhouette that could swallow the sun. The first rays of light pierced through the dark wings, scattering into 1,000 golden shards.
No more running. No more shame. I am the vessel, and I choose my path.
The shadow folded around him, a living mantle, until their shapes were one. And so, upon the cliff's edge, stood not a hollow blood, but a legend spoken in whispers. The hollow blood was never empty. He was the vessel for the darkness they swore to kill, and he had finally become whole.